There are so many grips out there, all different shapes, build-ups, sizes, weights. When you change a grip, you change so much about your golf clubs, and that could be the favorite golf club you have in the bag. You change the grip, all of a sudden it's not performing. In today's video, we're gonna help you with grip selection, explain some of the whys, the whens, and the whats as to when you should do this, and absolutely what you should be looking for in your build for your brand new grip. We'll also go through the process of regripping this yourself. Come along for the ride, subscribe as always. Let's get into why these are so important. They're more than just your touch point with the golf club. These can set the tone for the bag. This is gonna be a banger. Let's get into it. What's up? We're back in the KBS Golf Experience workshop. I've got my man Evan 2 Chainz, who's added a mullet to his viewing since he was last here. Today, and we thought this would be an interesting video for all of you, we're going to be regripping these wedges that actually belong to Q. We're in here, we're just about to do the regrip, and it came apparent to us, these are mid-size, I think with 3 tapes on there, and they're very heavy swing weight, so they're quite unique. Swing weight is a balance point, we've covered it on the channel before. We've covered regrips, but there's a couple of things that you absolutely want to nail when you do your regrips. You may have a club that feels fantastic in your hands. You go in and change the grip, and then all of a sudden you're lost and can't use that thing. The next thing about this that I like, this is a wedge regrip. So this will be Q's iron grip, which as you can see is the Jumbo Max. It has that rubber or synthetic feel to it. In his wedges, which I don't mind, he likes to have the rubber feel, but when we change this from a mid-size, we're now going to go into a +4 that gets rid of the taper. When you do these things, you change all the weights. But the reason I like the no taper on the wedges is because think about it, Q's a pretty decent player, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are out there. But as you start to grip down, you don't want to lose the width in the grip. So if you go and choke down on either a chip or what do we have here, a 58, that you're going to play and knock a bit off of it, and you want to have that Tommy Fleetwood butt end of the golf club showing, you want to keep the width in the hands. So there's a lot here when it comes to regripping. We're going to dissect it all in this video. Let's get Evan involved. Come along with us for the ride. First things first, you want a swing weight. Swing weight is balance point. So when we go on the scales, I've said before, these are digital scales, often have a fear of this. But if I balance this, and I won't keep you guys waiting forever, it comes out around D7, D6. As said before, so D7. As said before, that is an extremely heavy swing weight, but that's player preference. If we mess around with that and we change it, we're gonna end up in a dark spot. So you'll see here, this is, and I'll let Evan step in and show you this, but this is a standard Tour Velvet cord with 1 tape. If we pop that on the scales, with the 1 tape, it comes out at 53 grams. Okay, no problem. If we then pop on where we're at, which is multiple tapes on the Super Stroke grip, it comes in at 71.5 grams. The difference between those two and that much weight at the butt end of the golf club is going to change the swing weight, which is how this club plays, significantly, especially with a player that likes a heavy swing weight in a wedge. Then if we go to where we're at here, because realistically, we want to match these up. We've hit 74.5. That gram difference at the butt end of the golf club is going to be minor for the swing weight. We'll check both after the grip. We're going to show, Evan's going to show you in this video how we grip these things. But what we're going through now and what your builder and what your club fitter should be doing if you're going to change grips is this exact process. Show someone what it's like, and we can maybe peel this one off and show you on the scales already what this will look like when it comes to a difference of swing weight. So if I take off, always be careful when you're removing on these black KBSs, you don't want to catch the black chrome finish, well, it's not a chrome finish, the black finish that is on there, you don't want to catch that because that will leave a niche, which would be extremely annoying. Don't worry, Q, I wouldn't screw that up for you. Great tape job. Who gripped these? Great tape job. Torture tape, save a thumb. Came off clean. So, all the tape off there, perfect, came off great. Now we fire on this and you go back to your situation. Remember we were at D D7 before, I can pop that puppy in there. That is with the less gram weight, you've now gone up even heavier. You're on the maximum limit already. These clubs have been assembled for the heavy swing weight with the grip being in there. So you don't want to start adding more and more. Again, they'll play like a sledgehammer. So the way to do it, as we said, if we go back to our original, just to reconfirm where you guys were, bouncing around the D7 area, and then the new grip with the new tapes is going to get you in a region that is going to be much more playable. So then by adding the extra tapes or the tape needed on the +4, you can get it into your D6 swing weight, which will be a perfect area to go with a straight replacement. So we're going to walk you through now the regrip process. But the first steps, like we say with everything, the more preparation you can put into this, the more accurate it's going to be. If you get it accurate, that's going to put your mind in a good place when it comes to hitting the golf shots. You got that clear, you're bound to hit better golf shots. I think the way to think about this when you come, if you want to know the whys and the whens and the hows, it's a scale. So you must remove, if you put weight on the club head end, it impacts a little differently to how you remove weight from the butt end. But you're always trying to find the perfect balance point for the player, which is why if you start messing around with these, you can really cause problems.
All right, so first things first here, we're gonna get the torch, we're gonna light up the grip tape so we can peel it off.
How do you know how much torch to put on the tape?
You don't wanna get it so hot on graphite, especially if you're changing graphite clubs with grips. You don't wanna heat it up too much because it does expand. With the steel, I see it because it's kind of hard to explain, but you see a little glaze, and that means it's kind of risen, so you can just peel it off.
I think you're short on the flame there.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's see. I always use it.
It'd be off one strip now, big dog. Well, now you're ruining the thumb. Let's see how we go. Yeah. That's more like it.
That's what I'm saying. Hey.
That was good. Better one.
Judgy McJudger over here. Damn, dude.
So on these grips, one of the great things about this, and you can see it literally if I just stand it next to this other one, and the two of the bottom parts of the grip are touching, you can see how there's a taper either side of the KBS. And if you notice that the MCC maintains its width all the way up. So when Evan puts on the two tapes here, providing they're on flat, now you're going to have this consistent width all the way down. This is why this is actually a brilliant grip for wedges. Anyone out there looking to improve their wedge game, hit your clock face in your backswing, have different lengths, grip down also as well. Another great thing about this grip is it has the different lengths and the different markings, so you can go as far down as that Golf Pride, and we've gone logo up here, which I like. So if you can get the V shape of your low hand on the Golf Pride, you know that's a certain yardage. To if you go one triangle further up. You take that for some of these other grips, and we'll use the example of the grip that came off, which is why maybe I don't love it for wedges. I mean, you can see what they're doing here. They've got two decals in the bottom, but where's your reference point? And then if you take it to a Scotty Scheffler type scenario now, and how intricate he is with that training aid grip he has, are you telling me that he's not going to know if he wants to hit a 77-yard shot, and that's how accurate these guys get, how far down the grip does he need to go before he puts the feel in, before he hits the shot? So I think all these things tie in. I mean, that's looking pretty money now. Again, just to check on this to know it's done. We had this conversation last time. Not stretched to length. That's a preference point, providing all of them are a match length. So we know there's an 1/8 now, which the next one will be, because I've seen the way he does his grips. Straight in here, though, to check. And this is the piece, the final piece that you need. So remember, we've checked number of tapes, grip type, swing weight before, length when it's fitted. I mean, it's bang on. Take a look at that, Q. 6.0, 6.1 on a digital swing weight machine on the 50 degree with a set of irons at D4, woods at D4. Personally, when Q came in here, I didn't like that he was at D7. I know it's only 2 grams of weight in the head, so let's see 2 grams to give you guys a feel for that. See if I can just pop. There's 1 gram of this lead tape, but that's all it takes, 1 gram. And that moves us to D6.7, 6.8. So you're talking minute details, but as we become better at golf on our golfing journey, yes, you want your wedges to be a little bit heavier, but I do think anything above D6 is a little too far if you're using standard length golf clubs, whatever standard may be. In this scenario, what is it, 35.5 potentially on the 50. So keep that in mind with this process. So one of the offline conversations we've just had on this, grips are so important as we keep touching. This particular grip device has a laser that you can put down. If you check you've got your leading edge square in this particular gripping station to this side wall, some people like to use the laser to then get the decal, which on this grip is going to be that notch there, that notch there, that notch there, and the Golf Pride all perfectly in place so that when the grip goes on, everything is lined up like so. However, dealing with tour players, and I do just want to add in here, that's a cracking tape job, by the way. Not one ridge, and we've got the join of the tape in a different place to the bottom layer, which is always how you can tell someone who knows what they're doing with building golf clubs. That's critical when it comes to tape because it's just so important. But some of the tour players that I've worked with over the years will, and Tommy Fleetwood will be one, Justin Rose will be one, you're going to have the leading edge set up. So if we look down this angle, some of them would have it this way so that when the grip goes on, the decal makes sure the face is like so. Or you have a scenario where they would have it this way. So the blade is slightly open. So each time you grip it, you have to get the same amount of open or closed for each grip that you put on. Now that comes into play if you have a grip in the modern day stuff that the align where the rib, the ridge, the slightly raised part, you can see it as you look down this up at the light, there is a flat spot in the grip to help alignment with your fingers. That's where that comes into play. So as we make all these videos and we take you on this journey, we literally made a video this morning, the topic comes up, Q don't love it because we lose some people on it, but face to path, this is why face to path is massive. This is why I'm using those Grip Masters with the big stitching rib in there, because when I set it into the cradle through gripping it correctly, which is an old video, but I've got one about grip, if you cradle the grip correctly, so you can get the movement in your wrists because you cradled it in your fingers, the rib should sit in there, and then you're able to put the face to your tendencies. And with today's modern day swings, if the face halfway down is a little stronger, so again, if I take this and we look at the face halfway down in the golf swing, there versus a little stronger, which we see now in a lot of players, Morikawa, DJ, and then they rotate, then that can all be set in motion by the grip, which is why the grip is so important. Tommy Fleetwood is passive with his hands now, but as a kid, he'd have been fanning that blade more open. Rose was the same. The old school guys, Justin being one of them now, more fanned. Whereas if you can set the grip where it needs to be, because it's your contact point with the club, you go through that process, you can hit more compressed, stronger shots. Again, that's why the launch monitor is so important, because you can launch it in the window you want, and for wedges, half of the loft on the blade, so these 50, 54, you want to be launching them at half of whatever that number is, so 25, 27. These are simple steps that you can go through to get the perfect set of golf clubs enhanced, the same as what you've got, or better. But they're easy steps. Ask the right questions. Are you going to swing weight these clubs before you do this? Do you know if that grip has taper in it? If it's going on a wedge, that's a big deal. Is this the type of grip I want? Ask yourself that question. Is this grip type working for the shots I want to hit? Do I want the alignment to be slightly open, slightly closed, or dead set square? Or do I want a round grip that takes all of that out of the equation? They're all simple steps that you can do for your game. If you want to get this experience and get this service, The KBSX in Carlsbad can also do it for you. So be sure to check it out. It's all down there in the description. I'll put the link to this place, and Evan can redo your clubs when it comes to regripping, reshafting, and you can get them exactly how you want it. If you've learned something from this video, let us know in the comments. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments. And as always, hit subscribe. We got more coming for you.